My period was your excuse.
I'm on the first day of your period. Oh, Claude.
Oh no, that sucks.
That's really fucking upsetting.
No, don't. Let's just leave it. Come on, leave the listeners in suspense.
There's a
Shite, pish, idiot. Hello, and welcome back to the Sorry I Don't podcast. I am Swanee.
I'm Claude.
And I'm Abby.
And today we are going to be having a wee chat, a little review of Netflix's own Tall Girl.
Selected by our own Swanee.
Yeah, I selected it. I'm weirdly know a lot about it. Well,
You've watched one YouTube video about it.
I've watched the same YouTube video about it about 20 times when I show people this channel. Do you know how you have like YouTube channels that you really like and you're like, right, what would I show someone? What's a good one? Oh, look at it. Sometimes it's even just these guys
Your
are
favorite
funny.
skit.
Yeah, these guys are funny, but also this is a really weird fucking thing that they've found and are talking about. That was that for me.
Yep.
For a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were doing the podcast, where we want to find films that are, you know, ridiculous, maybe amazing,
It's no.
maybe terrible, which it is. I just was like, this is the girl, the tall girl. This is the film. And, you know, immediately looking at my notes when we started this, we come into the first problem. Why is this a film? Is my first note.
Yeah. Because they ran out of diseases to give people for romantic dramatic irony.
Yeah.
Dramatic irony.
So yeah, to give just some context for Tall Girl, it is a Netflix film. Netflix has been producing a lot of just like random films, but they're kind of doing like we were talking about it's kind of like a Hallmark thing. You got your Hallmark Christmas movies that are all, what would be a typical kind of vibe of that?
It's always about one person from the city, one person from a town that has a name related to Christmas. One has like a tragic relation to Christmas and they don't. And then there's always like some kind of like cookie making competition or gingerbread house making competition. And someone always has a weird specific job that's like, I'm the town's Christmas planner. What?
Yeah.
And like things like that just appear in
like a
every single one.
checklist.
Yeah. And the names are just like, they have Hallmark films now and they have loads of different things that are like the same as Hallmark films and they each do the exact same film.
It's brilliant.
It's so amazing.
Like
But I love those.
A Castle for Christmas.
Castle for Christmas.
It's just this new genre that Netflix has decided to go through, and it's not like brand new. It's obvious we've been doing high school romance dramas since forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's this specific vibe of film that's like this Tall Girl. You've got like the kissing booth, just like to all the boys I've loved before, or whatever. That's that kind of vibe of shite, you know. And it's just like so American. The problems that the main character faces are so obsolete. Like,
they're
who
so
cares?
not a thing.
Yeah.
But well, this is the point I was making with getting Abby to describe that. This is a film, as you just said, that has its own set of tropes. It's like, you know, there's always some sort of underdog story. There's some sort of will they, won't they. There's also some sort of red herring. There's a villain. There's a best friend. There's a...
It follows the same rhetoric as a panto, but just no funny.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, The Tall Girl is a 2019 film, teen romantic comedy about, that kind of falls into this kind of category of what I'd probably refer to as almost Hallmarky teen Netflix films, whatever. By director Zinga Stewart, who it was her directorial debut.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Before that, she's directed quite a lot of music videos for people like Jay-Z, Common, and 50 Cent.
This felt like a music video that went on for too long.
Yep.
I think that's generous. That is extremely generous to what this film is.
It felt what is it called? The Lonely Island.
Yeah.
I feel like a Lonely Island music video that went on for too long.
Yes.
That's also
The
insulting.
Kids Bop version of a Lonely Island.
That's
video.
insulting to Lonely Island. A Kids Bop ver. Okay, we're getting closer. It felt like Rebecca Black's Friday, the movie with no music. Do you know what I mean?
That's the title of this episode.
Oh.
Tall Girl, Rebecca Black's Friday, the movie with no music.
So like, aye.
I'm gonna just summarize just now. Our relationship with Tall Girl is all pretty much identical in that we watched it like extremely hungover, very weathered, very sick of life
Like I'm gonna
itself.
say each other, but like potentially yes.
Yes, also sick of each other. We put ourselves through that, and nobody had a good time
No.
throughout the entirety of this film.
Aye.
I had a good time watching it with you guys.
Yes,
I honestly think
just
that, like,
consuming it felt like you were just damaging yourself
Yeah.
watching it.
Well,
you
the
know?
thing is, it also got that pain got beautifully washed away by immediately watching Twin Peaks for the first time for you,
Yeah.
Claude, like episodes 1 and 2 or something, maybe even 3 of them. So in my mind, it's like, oh yeah, we've watched Tall Girl that night as well.
Yeah.
And like I wrote so much, and I don't want to read any of it. But like, just to front load this. What were you going to say first? Sorry.
I was gonna say, I knew this film was ridiculous. I'd seen the YouTube video that you showed me, and I was like, this will be fun. And then actually, as we were like sitting down to put it on, and we were so hungover and so tired, and I saw that it was an hour and 45 minutes long, I was kind of like, this isn't funny anymore.
No.
We actually have like said publicly that we're going to watch this and then think about it and write notes about it and review it. And I actually have to do that now. I've arrived at that point in time where this is about to happen.
It's not a bit anymore.
I felt like I was like
pure reality.
standing on the precipice of like a bungee jump going, I didn't think about this bit. Like, no, I don't want to do this.
It's just the kind of trend of our life, isn't it? Just deciding, oh, this will be funny if we go and do this, and then just you get to actually having to do it, and you're like, there is nothing funny about this whatsoever.
No. Yeah, to
Now
front
that
load,
I'm actually going through
to
it.
front load this review, it's very much like on par with S17 again.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
But what
But
I
not-
will say about this film is that we are all on the same page about it, which is rare.
Which is a rare one, to be
Yeah.
fair.
It did something.
It did something. It brought us together. But no, also just shout out to Cosmonaut Variety Hour for making that video. That
Shout
was-
out.
Aye.
That I feel angry at them. If it had not been for that video, we wouldn't have seen this film.
Well, shout out to his family,
And-
whether that's a
and
good thing or not. Whatever.
They are going to be 100 times funnier than us in fucking an hour and 45 minutes less than we will be.
Oh yeah, I think they've got a full version on their Patreon. I think they
I'm
do.
not. I'm done with this film already.
I'm just saying. We're not mental. We're not that wild, mad, shite. You know, whatever. Adjective? Verb. Which one?
Sorry, I don't podcast.
Sorry, I don't English degree that I have. I remember saying this to my friend Abby Menzies, and I was like, "Oh yeah, man, like we don't get taught grammar that much. Like I can't always remember what a verb or an adjective is." And she was like, "Dude, that's like the least thing that you need to worry about when it comes to all this grammar stuff. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, I know, but it's like one of those. It's like someone that doesn't know how to tell time. You're like, how have you not learned that? I'm like that with this." Anyway, moving on. Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? So not moving on.
So what? Sorry, I don't.
No, the thing I said.
What?
What thing?
The descriptors. Oh, we're too far away from
If they're
that.
descriptors, they're adjectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I
Describing
asked.
words.
That's all I asked.
A verb is a doing word.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
English degree.
I think a good English degree. Well, fine. Doing this way, eh? Oh, just had a wee exorcist moment there. Right. Okay, so we start with Tall Girl. The film immediately starts and it has the most bogging soundtrack I've ever heard in my life. It's like
I wrote that.
It's actually quite a good song by Janelle Monáe.
It's not.
But that bit, but it's a good song. The chorus is good. The verses are catchy, right? Because it's in the finale of one of the Drag Race seasons.
No, you're thinking of a different song. Yeah, this is just like a bit of kind of incidental music, was it not?
No,
Is it the same music?
Softly playing in the background. But I was like, why have they upped this like chewing noise and you can barely hear the actual song?
Yeah.
Like, why have they decided that they're gonna focus on this bit?
I wrote that it felt like the music was sucking on me, which is not what you want to experience when you first
start watching
a film.
I've got written in
It
gloopy
feels
noise.
like it's sucking on you.
Gloopy noise and clicks like the wee girl from Hereditary has been given the mic, and you're like, man, that's actually horrible. Stop it. That's what I wrote down. That is quite funny. Past Swanee. Well done, man. Proud of you for that one. Could have delivered it better.
Oh my god.
But right, so we meet Tall Girl, and she's like, well, we meet our two characters in the library, and it's like, okay, what are we doing with this? And we watch basically our main character, Tall Girl.
That's not her name in the film.
It has to be.
What was her name?
Jodie.
Jodie. And she explains the film's theme via a book analysis with this random student who's like, hey, I don't get that. And she's like, and explains the plot or the theme that we're going to watch. And I think you pointed out to me, Claude, you're like, that's the theme. And I went, yep. Yeah, there it is.
I think because I put like, this is heavy-handed, like, oh, this is what the film's going to be about, and I was like, I probably would have been able to get this on my own, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel as if the meaning of this film was going to be lost on me.
Spoon feeding to the audience. I think it was literally just like, hey, do you know this biblical figure that was really tall and got made fun of by all of the disciples at some point? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So basically, before that monologue, it's just a boring ass chat about a book.
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right. My bad. It's a boring ass chat about a book.
Yep.
And then he's like, hey, listen, I know we just met, but do you want to come to homecoming with me? I think he just really doesn't go do. It's like he jumps to the thing. He jumps to the big thing that they're all going to be talking about later, because of course they are, because it's a teen film. We've got to tick those boxes. And then she stands up, and the music literally goes dong, and then the camera zooms, his eyes widen, and she stands up, and she's like 6'1".
And she literally says she's 6'1".
She goes, hey, do you remember that tall girl, that really, really tall girl in your school that everyone called Giraffe or Yeti? And you're like,
and we all
Braun.
simultaneously just went,
No.
Nah, man,
Not a thing.
Not a thing. And 6'1", as has been pointed out, is not that tall.
See, most of my pals in school, like lassies, were all quite tall. And they were all like fucking beautiful. And everyone thought they were beautiful because they were. Because being tall is class.
Well, yeah, like...
Not that being short isn't, but like...
No.
There's no...
But it's not a thing that makes you bad looking.
No. It's not... Quite the
Like,
opposite.
She looks like a model a little bit.
I feel like if this film was called Brown Hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, brown hair.
You get ugly people with brown hair, you get hot people with brown hair.
Mm-hmm.
You get hot tall people, you get ugly tall people. But tall is not what makes it. It's just, why does this film exist?
Yeah, I know. So, right, that's with that setup of a premise, which is meant to really get you and tie you into the character, like, hey, relatable thing. You're immediately just like, no, that's not relating to you.
So ridiculous because the guy looks at her as she stands up and towers over him, like she's covered in like seeping sores.
Yeah.
You know? And she's fine.
She acts like it.
Yeah. And she doesn't help herself either.
Her personality is a bit of a seeping sore, to be fair.
She's like so insecure about being tall, which she shouldn't be. She's literally fucking 6'1". And
I get that's tall in high
to
school, but
rectify that, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna wear a boiler suit."
oh no, this is a big thing. She wears the most like what's the word?
Elongating clothes.
elongating, the most heightening clothes you could.
Yeah, because the actress is not that tall and they actually had to make her look taller.
Oh, probably.
So they've dressed her like that to try and make her look more tall than she is.
Do you know this for a fact? She wasn't 6'1".
No, what I'm saying is if she was 6'1", they probably put her in the film and went, this is silly. That doesn't look that weird.
Because listen, if she's not actually 6'1" though,
I will
then
lose
Pause
what?
fact check.
Then what the fuck are we doing? Like if we're
leave.
doing Call Girl,
That would be the
Call Girl, different film. If we're doing Tall Girl and we're casting someone that's no over 5'11",
it would be the
What's the
epitome
picture?
of Hollywood beauty standards, unrealistic or unattainable beauty standards. They make a film about a girl who's insecure being tall, and they cast somebody who's not even tall.
Magic of acting. Very similar about The Witness. The magic of editing.
She is 6'1".
She is 6'1".
All right, so she is 6 foot.
That's still not that tall.
Still that tall.
She won't be the tallest person in her school.
No.
She could be.
She
But
isn't.
it doesn't
No,
matter.
she
She
won't.
objectively
There will
isn't.
be other 6 foot men at least.
No, that's true.
Several.
Yeah.
She might not even be the tallest lassie in her school. It'd be so funny if that's how the film ended.
Yeah.
She was standing like
that what
getting
Tall
her
Girl 2
crown,
is
and
about?
this taller girl walks along and takes it off her head.
Is that what Tall Girl 2 is about? Because there is a sequel. Is that what Tall Girl 2 is about?
No, it's not about being tall.
But then what's the point? What's this? See if Tall Girl 2 wasn't like a nice. All right, we'll talk
It's
about that later.
about she wants to be in a musical, and she doesn't believe in herself.
Boo! Boo! Shite! Pish! Idiot! Scriptwriter. Anyway, right. So we've got a few things that we try and set up really quickly in this film. First of all, we have a flashback. That basically just of Jodie going, "Yep, I've always been tall. My dad had a meltdown when I was 3 years old and 4 foot." And we get this weird scene with he's like, "Doctor, help us! Our daughter's so tall," and she's like, "Oh, she might not be able to have kids then."
No,
No.
she offers him a medication that could stunt her growth. And she's like, but I advise you not to do this because it could have really serious health side effects. Like, she could be, like, infertile when she's older. And he turns around and asks her if she...
Do you want kids then?
When she's 4.
To the 4-year-old, the dad's like, "Do you want kids?" She's like, meh."
This to me, I'm like, this is why you're insecure. This is why you've got problems. Not because you're 6'1", because your parents are fucking insane.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we, after that weird scene, we go to school. We go to Jodie's school with her, and we meet her best friend.
I'm getting flashbacks of 17 again, man. We're back at school.
We're back
We're back at school
fucking
again.
high school. And we meet her best friend, who is the typical quirky, cool one that's definitely going to get like shafted by someone in the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So she's like got an unbreakable spirit that the film is like, and her
We're gonna
spirit
break
will
you.
be broken.
You're so right. That's so true. Oh yeah, the one that we could count on for being fucking solid. Nah, man. What's solid? Pfft, crumble. But aye. So literally, she's like, "Hey, Jodie," and Jodie hits it with, "I feel so tall today." Man, stop it. And she's wearing a boiler suit, as you said. But yeah, at this point, we meet the best friend. The best friend kind of defends her from some people making terrible height jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Literally, I think the guy says, "Hey, how's the weather up there?"
Yeah, I think 2 people make a joke, 3 maybe, so the whole film about height, and one of them's when she's 4. Do you know what I mean?
The best friend,
That'd be like holding a grudge for years against a friend group over something that didn't really happen.
but this is the thing. The best friend is absolutely not doing anything to help her because the guy's like, "How's the weather up there?" And she's like, and the best friend just decides that she's going to go in this massive rant and defend her. And she's like, "You are just chipping away at pieces of her soul. Do you know what? From now on, that's your new nickname. You're Soul Chipper." I thought, this is why you're getting bullied, man.
Because
That's
you're
why
coming up with shite
Because
fucking
we
chat.
BAMs are going to come up to you and deliberately goad you so that you'll dish out some other shit insult, and they're going to be like, "Oh, she just called me Soul Chipper. Aye, that's going to
Did
catch
Jodie
on."
say Soul Chipper?
No, the
or we
pal
pal
did.
did.
Well, Jodie just stood in the back trying to make
This
herself look
reminds me of
smaller.
something really embarrassing I did. So, so I think I can't remember what the prompting for this was. It was on my Facebook. It's still up, right? But I think I had just uploaded some kind of cringy shite emo picture of myself, and then this wee boy in my year at school was like, "You're like an emo freak goth, like go." Like die or whatever they said, and then
Standard.
I replied something back like cheeky. I can't really remember what I said, and he said, "You're a fucking rocket," right? And I replied, and I was like, "I'm not a rocket, but I wish I had one, because if I did have one, then I would paint it all different sorts of rainbow colors, and I would take my weird rocket and take it to another planet away from you. And obviously, everybody just fucking ripped the piss out of me for that, because it was shite. And I
fair.
remember not only doing that, but being so proud of
Proud of
myself.
yourself.
I was like,
Aw.
fucking, like, he's probably sitting like, jaw is dropped. He's like, I have
Absolutely
no
floored.
idea what to say to that. And
Oh
I
my
think
gosh, she's so crazy.
I had a bag when I was in first year high school, and it had a leather pink bunny rabbit.
Now
with
back to
an eye
therapy
patch.
sessions with Swanee.
With an
Continue, I'll have my sweet.
bought an eye patch and a 1920s bathing suit, right? And it was actually, you know, I really wish I still had this bag. It was fucking cool. I would still wear it today. I would go with this outfit actually. But this girl walked past and went, "That's fucking queer," and I didn't like know that meant gay. And not that there's anything wrong with being gay or queer, or like that's what she meant, obviously. But I was like reading Wuthering Heights at the time because I was 12, and that's the kind of thing I was doing. And I was like, thought it just meant like weird. So I was just like, I am queer. I'm really proud of it. I was like going around telling everyone I was queer that day. And I came home and I was like, "Mom, I'm queer." And she's like, "What?" "Do you know what that means?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it means I'm like weird and quirky and there's nothing wrong with that." And she's like, "There is nothing wrong with that. But also it means something different as well. I just want to make sure you understand what you're talking about first." And yeah, I did came out and then I went back in.
Oh, well, good. Swanee's therapy session's done now. Can I close the book?
Are you trying to say that you never came out with any pish patter
Oh no.
in school?
But then it's not Swanee's therapy session. That's actually Swanee's therapy sessions. I came up with tons. Right. Anyway, quick fire. We're meeting a bunch of characters. We meet the bestie. Done. We also meet the sister. Now, the sister is possibly the best character in the film. Possibly the rogue. Possibly everything. She's great. She's like the polar opposite. She's small and very confident and very.
Played by Sabrina Carpenter.
That's it. Sabrina Carpenter. Played by what was she in?
She's just really famous now.
She's
Doing
a music artist.
what?
She's a singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Abby was saying that she does all those, like, she finishes off all her tours by doing like a wee rhyming thing with whatever country she's in or whatever city she's in.
So they're always like quite dirty.
Yeah. She's cool.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she's great. She nails the role. She's just playing the sister who's like being so like, you know how Tall Girl's been tall since she was 4? Sister has been a pageant queen since she was 4. Because the two of those are comparable things apparently. So yeah, she's mental and is very much determined to win this state championship, win this. I don't know what age she is. She's definitely not in high school anymore, but it definitely isn't like get out of the house and find a job. Do you know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
somewhere. Anyway, she's constantly like got allergies and sneezing and characters, I guess. But she's also like inhaling like this little nose spray, which apparently can have like a cocaine-like effect, like in terms of a high. So there's like, and some fans that chat about this on Reddit and stuff. There's folks just go, "Oh yeah, she's just high." Yeah,
Tall Girl fans.
oh, yeah, I found them. What?
The film of You Know What also had a theme of sneezing.
So, you may have heard us before refer to the lost episode of the Sorry I Don't podcast,
Yeah.
which would have been episode 6 last series was actually Moulin Rouge, but it was really episode 6.2 because episode 6 was a film. Are we going to reveal what it was? Have we done that before?
No, we've never done that before.
It was a film called Tall Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And watching this film, we realised that this podcast runs the risk of being the one that goes off the rails and gets cancelled of this series. And this is episode 6, and it's called Tall Girl. And in Tall Guy, there's a weird allergy plotline that is apropos of nothing other than to get him to meet a character, right?
Yeah.
But they spent a lot of time in the first half about his like chronic allergies that apparently ruin his life, and it's like his only character trait. And in this film, the
Chronic
only thing
allergies.
wrong with this girl is that she sneezes a lot.
It comes up again.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you think? No.
What, that it's like the modern Tall Guy?
Do you think that?
Think they've
Do you
seen
think it's
Tall Guy.
inspired by Tall Guy?
I don't.
Is it some
Tall
odd-
Guy's much better.
But like, if you were gonna make a film called Tall Girl and that was something you were considering, you'd maybe go like, is there any other films like this? And then you'd find out about Tall Guy.
And you would watch Tall Guy, and you would be like, I'm gonna take some small
Points
details.
Maybe
from
it just came unconsciously. Like they watched it and went, oh yeah, okay, that was that kind of
forgot
film.
about it.
And it just came out. Yeah, I can see that.
How fucked up is that?
Implied real life narrative. Sorry.
Implied narrative. Yeah.
The implied narrative is that that's nowhere actual dad. It's really fucking what's his name? That guy, Jurassic Park man, tall guy, tall man.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yep, Jeff Goldblum is Jodie, Tall Girl's real dad. Implied narrative.
Implied narrative. Yeah, maybe
That's
makes a lot of sense.
That's where the allergies
So,
come from.
speaking about the dads, we meet the sister, we re-meet the dad. Did you hear my gullet?
That's the dad.
That is the dad.
The dad in this scene.
Sorry,
is
can we go back? I don't want to be fucking doing that. That was pretty bogging.
Right.
Right, so we met the sister, and now we're going to meet the rest of the family. We meet the dad, re-meeting the dad, and he's just immediately a bit off. We also meet the mum, and we sit down for a family dinner. And immediately, the dad hits out with, oh, by the way, tall people are dying young. That's terrible. And it's like, man.
He's like,
she's 6'1", man.
All the issues are becoming so clear.
he's like, oh, you keep so much to yourself. I just trying to start a conversation with you. I was like, yeah, a lighthearted conversation about how I think you're going to die of tall.
I've just written down, Dad talks about tall people dying young. Fucking freak.
I wish I was tall at this point. Watching
tall.
this.
I wish I was taller so I could fucking... Aye. Anyway, so then...
Both the parents are pretty roguish.
Well, yeah, because didn't she just hit her with a...
It's Thingy from The Office.
Yes.
Angela from The Office.
So it is.
And Angela's talking about, like, because she's like, yeah, just nobody likes me. And, like, because the dad's like, why do you not play the piano anymore? You used to love to play the piano. And she's like, yeah, if I do stuff, then people will watch me while I'm doing it. And I don't want people to perceive me. And then...
Because her whole thing is like, oh, yeah, I was too pretty to not be hated by everyone else. It's
Yeah.
like, man.
Yeah, the mum was
No
like,
wonder
yeah,
tall
I was
girls
just
like this.
I wasn't popular in school because everyone was so jealous of how beautiful I was, and I was like, I had to batter away, like I had to batter 8 guys who were asking me to prom, and I was all like flirty, she just has a wee like fucking
Narcissistic meltdown.
aye, it's just like so odd.
She says to her daughter, does that count as adversity? And the daughter's like, no. I'm like, neither does being tall. None of you have problems.
I'm the height of a model.
I'm the height of a model. I'm too
tall,
pretty.
I'm skinny.
I'm too pretty. Oh, I win all the pageants.
Oh, I sneeze sometimes, but I'm beautiful.
I have a beautiful family.
I can play the piano and I'm tall.
I'm the most bogging dickhead alive, and
And
yet
I've got these beautiful, like 3 beautiful women that love me, and oh shit. Aye, they're all
Beautiful,
awful.
huge house.
But do you know what's? Do you know who somehow is even more awful than the 4 of them? Maybe.
Dunks.
Well, yeah, we meet our next character, Jack Dunkelman. Yes.
Spunky
Jack
Donkey.
Spunky
Dunkelman.
Donkey.
From now on, I'll refer to him as Donkey. You can call him Spunky Donkey. I ain't doing that. After Cammy cut in our last episode, I'm calming myself down with these nicknames. Bye. So, we meet Dunkelman, and he carries this. He carries a milk box crate around with him, and he has shy pickup lines.
That would be. Ooh.
We'll get to that. Right, he carries the crate.
No,
'cause-
don't, let's just leave it. Come on, leave the listeners
There's a
in
good
suspense.
chance. There's actually more so than in any other podcast we've done, a really decent chance that people listen to this. I've never seen this film
Yeah.
before. Because who would want to watch this?
Yeah.
You should
You
watch
shouldn't.
the Cosmonaut Variety Hour YouTube video. No, yeah.
So he has a milk crate that he carries around for the entire film, and he keeps all of his stuff in it as well, like his like books and like pencils and that for school.
Yeah. And he kind of wears like a blazer.
It's giving like The Fault in Our Stars when he carries a cigarette
Yeah.
around with him all the time that
It's
he's
a
not going to
metaphor.
smoke, and it's a metaphor. And I was just like, why are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Why do you have to have a prop, man?
Yeah, no, he's prop guy shite, pickup, drama kid.
And he looks
lame
like,
boy.
sorry, I meant to look this up in advance. He looks like
The wee boy.
the wee boy from Lazy Town.
Not
Not Robbie Rotten.
no, not the good wee boy.
No.
Is there a good wee boy? No.
I mean, why would you say wee boy and think Robbie Rotten? What the fuck are you talking about? I know the wee boy Robbie Rotten. Whoever said that?
The wee boy in Lazy Town.
Aye.
The wee evil boy. What's his name? Tell me his name.
It's this guy.
Yes.
Stingy. Played by someone called Jodie Eckelberger. Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy from Tall Guy.
If you're
this
watching-
is exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Stingy donkey.
Stingy donkey. Stingy spunky donkey. So
So basically,
he's like Jodie's best friend from
and
childhood and stuff as well.
And he fancies her. He's in love with her. She finds this inexplicable, and he's always constantly trying to convince Tall Girl to go for a date.
This man doesn't just fancy her. He is an absolute fucking sex pest.
He is a
comes
pest,
in
isn't he?
every single day to school and immediately hits her with a pickup line, and she's always just like, "Not ever gonna happen. You're a disgusting wee mess." Like,
So-
And you
leave
can
me
tell
alone.
that she really feels that way. There's absolutely no chemistry between them whatsoever.
Yeah, and you can also tell that it's been going on for a while because he's now moved on to the gaslighting because he's like, oh, you won't find anyone else though. Like, I'm the best shot at anything. And you're like, man, you guys are what, 16?
Get a grip.
So
Both of you get a grip and stop hanging out. This is unhealthy. Someone tell your parents. I want an interview. I want to sit down. I want the school counsellor. I want his ma. I want her ma. I want a dad. I want him in a straitjacket. I want it sorted. I want this fucking cleared up. This is pish. This is minging.
this
See,
is
I was
why
just-
she's insecure about her height. It's because he's like trying to peg her
Everyone's
down.
fetishizing it.
He's just nagging her. He's been nagging her for like
Yeah.
16 years.
Oh, I bet you him and the dad get on really well. I bet he's like, one day Dunk, she'll get her. It's like, ugh. One day she'll be Jodie Dunkelman, and I'm gonna sit down with you and your mama and your dad. And it's like, get me out. I'm actually really feeling that, and it makes me sad.
That
They are pals.
that voice was
Don't
really
ever talk to me again.
Fair play, right?
so funny.
So next week on the Sorry I Don't podcast. No, unfortunately we're still here. So we also then we're meeting a lot of characters, setting up the school, whatever. We then also meet our sort of other potential love interest, Stig Mullen from Sweden, and he's like hot, meant to be hot Stig. Like, he comes in with the lights glaring and then the blonde hair, and he's like, haha. And then again a Tommy Wiseau kind of voice, and he is. Everyone's like, oh my god, and Tall Girl's like, I love him, and he fucking walks in like an absolute Chad and does a Goodwill Hunting and just like solves the equation on the board, and then nobody actually collapses. It's quite funny.
There's something in the water in this like town that stunted growth for everyone except her, because this cannot be the first tall man she's ever seen.
Yeah.
Once again, he is not by any means a giant.
Not at all.
He even says that. Like, he's like, from where I'm in Sweden, I'm not that tall. And I'm like, okay, maybe people in Sweden are extra tall, but this guy's not that tall. And she's just like, I automatically love him because he's taller than me. And I'm like, you're only 6'1". You're only 6'1". You have met people taller than you. What's going on?
Aye.
Fucking fun,
So
man.
Jodie the Giant fancies sexy blonde Stig Will Hunting, and aye, and then we meet another character because we're going to set all these characters up for this complicated interplay of shite, and we meet Kimmy Stitcher. She's like the queen bee of the school. She's like the popular girl who, makes fun of Jodie, prank calls her, and is like, "Sit down, Jodie. Jodie, you're too tall. I can't see." You know, shit like that. Which is honestly a better line and a better character interaction than we actually get with the film. Because you know what? See, if they really wanted to be kind of funny with this, they could just be like, yeah, this isn't actually a real problem, so we can actually just be mean and be like, Jodie, I can't even fucking, there's so many clips going on when you're around. Just really go absolutely
outrageous with it, rather than just like, how's the weather up there every fucking
It goes from
half an hour
There are
once.
two. Either how's the weather up there, or no one's gonna fucking love you because you're tall, so you're gonna die alone in a ditch. And it's like, what?
So
What? That's
gotta
not a thing.
There has to be a middle ground between shite jokes and horror
But from nothing.
from nothing, from being
6'1".
a desirable height for most people in this
Yeah.
world, for being a model. I think on the Cosmic Variety, they're like, you look like tall Sansa from Game of Thrones. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? She does.
She
Like,
does.
she's very like aesthetically pleasing. What the fuck are we talking about? Anyway, continuing with this, she, you know,
Is this where we get the scene in the hallway? Where they're next to the lockers and they're talking about babies.
I have no clue.
So they have this bit, I'm sure, because it's next in my notes, and it's genuinely one of the most obscene things I've ever seen on screen. This is like,
Oh no, we're coming to that. Go for it. Fuck it. I don't care.
Cool.
so they are, tall girl's standing in the corridor with Spunky Donkey and her wee pal, her best pal, right? And she's basically like complaining about being tall, but she's like, this guy though, he's tall, like this is good, like this Stig guy's showed up, he's hot and he's tall, I want to go out with him so badly. And she's kind of pissed off because he's interested in what, Kimmy Stitcher, is that what you said? I don't fucking care, the bitch, right?
Kimmy Stitcher.
He's kind of interested in Kimmy, or she's trying to get him on her side. And we fucking Donkey Gaslight is like, you wouldn't want to have babies with him anyway, because those babies would be, what was it he says that puppy's coming out cesarean. Do you want to have a disgusting scar on that beautiful torso of yours?
Because it's going to be a huge freak baby.
Yeah, no.
Spoken like a serial killer.
And yeah, he says it a lot more like succinctly than I do, and but also kind of gaslighty. Like, do you want that? Would you want like a big disgusting scar on your stomach when you're so beautiful? Like, it's like, Jesus, man. And then worst, our wee pal who's been sticking up for like so far is like, oh, he's got a point. What do you mean he's got a point? Why are we shaming fucking
C-section?
Pal
What's
seems to
going
be like
on?
the voice of the filmmaker, right? Whereas like this film is obviously going to be about body positivity. That's the point we're trying to make here. And she comes in and she's like, you should love yourself. Fuck everyone else, right? That's her whole thing. And he goes in this big speech about not her. He's not saying you're disgusting because you've had a cesarean and you have a scar. He's just like, if you get a cesarean, that would make you disgusting. And the pal whose whole thing is body positivity and like being empowering and empowering women, it's just like, yep.
Yeah, you're right, but
And then the scene ends,
What?
and that's it. And there's no
resolution.
There's no resolution to
It's
that.
just almost like, is this how
we never come back from that. We never go like, I can't believe I said something like that. Like, Jesus, that was so judgmental and so like, oh God, I'm so glad that I've learned from my mistakes and, you know, I've like become a better human being to, you know, the progress of this film. You know, I'm glad that my character has went through some kind of development.
No.
No.
The film says that with its chest, and it's just such a wrong. Like, it's just such a. Like, it's just.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous. It's incorrect. It's just like.
It's
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 out of
not.
place.
It's not how
Doesn't
having babies
It
works.
doesn't
Like,
make any sense. And it's no funny. That's the biggest crime. See, if it was funny, you'd be like, that was pretty horrible, but funny. There's no humour.
no, it's just mean. It's just Donkey Gaslight. He's like, yeah,
and then Pal McShite. And it's just fucking right.
It's genuinely-
We need to find other words other than fucking shite to describe this film.
it was so shocking though. We were jaws agape. We couldn't believe
was
what we were
bad.
witnessing.
I still can't believe the film just did that.
I've just never heard of people shaming folk for having C-sections before. I
Because
think that's
it's
nuts.
such a common thing.
It's
It's such a
common.
common normal thing.
It's
not-
like being like, oh, you got your appendix out? Lame. Like,
It's like, oh, you went to the dentist, man. Cringe. What are you saying? Oh,
it just happens to you. It's not a choice you make.
it's a thing.
You know?
Aye. But anyway, we have a hard cut away from that menacing
Anyway.
scene. And yeah, we then meet another character, Dunkelman's mother, who it turns out has adopted Stig, the Swedish guy, for this exchange program. So that's
But at this point, Stig's my favourite character. And that didn't age well. But like, at this point, Stig is just as clueless
Hi.
and as like
from Sweden.
cannot make sense of why everyone he's met in the past 5 minutes has been as disgustingly horrible as they have been, because he's just like, so like, okay, I don't know what to do about this because everyone's just being unnecessarily cruel to each other and me, and I've not done anything. And that's how I felt about watching this film. I was like, I've not done anything to deserve this. Why does this film keep slapping me? Like, this is horrible. And so I was really relating to Stieg in the first bit of the film, but then the film took him in and warped him
Yes.
and made him just as unpleasant as everyone else.
Yeah. So these next few scenes are
And then I was
basically
alone.
alone again. So we just hang out. No, no, I mean, as viewers.
All right, donkey.
Yeah. As viewers, not you personally, but very funny to say that. So we basically just for the next few scenes just hang out with this selection of fucking annoying characters and just really delve into some of them and for very varying quality results. The first one's actually
Which
quite
might
good.
be how listeners of this podcast feel at times.
Yeah. But no, the first one again, we have a good scene with the sister. Honestly, every scene with the sister elevates the movie much higher than it is, and is actually possibly what saves it from being as abysmal in my mind as 17 again.
Because we said watching it, the sister's in a different film to everyone else,
Yeah.
and that's probably why I enjoyed her.
Yeah. That's why she's like the
The
only
rogue.
person that you recognise from it as well, other than Greg Heffley's dad from Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Also, if there are any
Who's
compilations of
her
her,
dad?
yeah, if there are any compilations of her from this film online, go find them because her delivery can be some of the funniest things you'll ever see. She would just be talking normally and something just go, "Hey, bro, get your head in the game," and it's like, man, I was asking you to do my makeup. You know, it was like shit like that. But in this scene, we get a sequence like this. So Jodie reveals to her older sister that she is she's in love with a guy, and it's just like, oh my god, you've come to me for advice. I thought this day would never come. And it has a whole like Spanish novella sort of looking at the window.
Yeah, apparently the sister lives at the top of a tower,
Yeah,
like in an evil
and
lair.
always wears like, well, not prom,
Ball gowns.
pageant dresses or ball gowns. Yeah. So so she's all very excited, and as soon as Jodie mentions that it's like the guy's a foreign exchange student, the music literally takes a turn. She looks at the window, and the sister does, and she goes, "Yes, this reminds me of my love with Diego." And it's just like, okay, I am here for all of this. I want the flashback to your time with Diego.
She just goes on this insane rant where she's like really supportive at first, and then she's like, "He's an exchange student." Oh no!
You're not ready
Forget
for this,
about
babe.
him. Rip up his number. He doesn't exist. This conversation never happened.
Yeah,
and then
she-
she's like, "I was hurt once," and I'm laughing at Claude because Claude's at uni has dated guys who were studying abroad, and let's be honest, none of those situations turned out.
No, I
Well.
was renowned for it.
It was kind of
It
your
was
thing
my
for a
bet.
bit.
It was my bet.
And I think if I was to come to you, if I had gone back to do a master's or something, and I was like, I'm dating a study abroad student,
I would have done that.
we acted in the exact same way, which is why it was so funny that she dramatically revealed the name of her former lover, and it was very similar to the name of Claude's ex-boyfriend.
Now I get all this. I thought it was a reference to an actual Diego that's been in my life.
Do you know what? Would it have been that like far gone that I would have also been seeing that guy called Diego at some
No.
point?
Not at all. Yes. Sister finishes this. Again, we get another hard cut. And now we're hanging out with Stieg for some reason. And he's getting like absolutely buoyed at lunch at school the next day. Or later that week, and he's getting told by Dunkers, "Hey man, you can't sit with me. You're too hot. And you make me look like fucking shit. So go." And Steve's like, "Man, I've been here for like 2 days. Everyone's either really weird or doesn't like me. Can I please sit with you?" And he's like, "No." He's like,
Absolutely
"Please."
doubles down. The
Like-
guy's like, you're literally the only person I know. We share a bunk bed together, man. Like, can I please come and sit with you at lunch? You're like the only person I know. And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm disgusting. Like, I'm actually ugly, and that is accentuated by how hot you are.
Yeah.
So, like, fuck off." And he's like, "Please."
He's just like,
"No."
he goes, sorry, man, I'm cringing. And he just like leaves, and it's like, okay. So then Stieg ends up getting invited by Kimmy. Or no, sorry, Stieg sits. It doesn't matter. Stieg sits on his own and gets approached by Queen Bee, Kimmy, and miscellaneous high school girls. They all come and sit and flirt with them, and Kimmy like does a stare down of all of them, and it's not funny.
It's not
And
funny.
it's not
No.
good. It's not well done, and the acting's
It's
bad.
too long as well.
It's too long.
It's literally just all these lassies staring at
This
each
is
other.
also again why I really enjoyed Stieg at first, because he just looks like he's from our world. and all this weird shit's happening. Because instead of actually flirting with him, these girls will just start like sneering at each other and staring each other down, and he's just looking about like, why is this happening?
What is going on?
What's going on? I'm so uncomfortable. Once again,
But
it was me.
Yeah.
But like ultimately, Kimmy wins, and now I guess her and Stieg are seeing each other.
Yep.
That's the idea.
That's how that works. So you end up going out with folk.
Yeah, well, painting class, that gets confirmed. That painting class and art, and Kimmy and Stieg are flirting. So, yeah, that's happened. We then meet a new character. Oh, another character, Art Girl. I'm just going to call her Art Girl, that Dunkers will also verbally abuse for the duration of this film and also manipulate.
She tries to flirt with him, and he just is like, have I written this down? Oh yeah. She's like, oh, I love your art. You're such a great artist. It reminds me of like Picasso and Rembrandt. And he just turns around and goes, are you just naming artists that you know? And like, he's not an attractive guy in the way that he acts. And this is a really pretty girl, and she's trying to be nice to him. And he just turns around and goes, you're thick and you're embarrassing yourself. Shut up.
Stop this. It's like, man. Yeah, so
This guy sucks.
he does suck. He does.
To be fair, she was right. It was a wee bit Pollock. You can fuck off.
Yeah. It was a wee bit. And yeah. So all these things are just kind of bubbling. Jodie, after her sister derailed the conversation and didn't help her and dissociated out the window, asked her sister again, hey, can you actually help me with this guy? Because it seems like, since you didn't help me last time, shit's gone down, and but she's been making moves.
That is very much like me and you, though, innit? Like, I
Yeah.
can imagine you asking me on a bad day, like, I'm interested in this guy from you, and I'm just like, no, man, no. I'm saying no, and I'm not giving you any advice on this. And if you ever ask me again, I'm gonna kill you. And then just another day being like, you've got over yourself yet?
And you're like, here's what you should do.
Yeah, no, I'm alright now. I've got over it. I'm fine. That day was not the day.
So,
Are you still chewing your sweeties?
yes, my candy.
I'm not gonna be able to listen to this fucking podcast, man. I can't listen to chewing.
Anyway, so she's seen the sister again, and her sister is practicing knife throwing for a pageant competition. This is unhinged behaviour, right? This
Yeah.
is actually unhinged psycho shit, and I love it.
Yeah.
Every time we see the sister, they
The
just
only thing
add,
that you want from the film, isn't it?
Mhm.
You're like, oh, more of that.
keep
Mere-
adding weird
Mere
things
knife
onto her.
throwing, wee boy.
But yeah, Julie's basically like, I'm ready, train me. And that's when I'm pretty sure she does the whole, hey bro, do you sure you want this? Screams at her.
Throws a
Takes-
knife at her
Mhm,
accidentally,
mhm, but still,
but
how accidentally.
it's like she flinches away from the oncoming death,
Mm-hmm.
and her sister's like, "Nah, you need to be stronger than that."
I
And
know.
it's like in asking a guy out. If asking a guy out is going to involve dodging knives, don't.
So now we get another one of our tropes. We've had a few there, I didn't really point them out, but we get a definite, very easy trope to recognise, the makeover montage
Yeah.
with the mum and sister kind of suggesting Jodie new outfits, and they make
Honestly.
it very fucking clear that they think she is bogging. Like, every time we cut to them, it's like, oh, or maybe, it's there's nothing of like you that actually really work that suits you. I think there's nothing. It's just you're ugly as fuck, and she's not until she picks her last outfit.
It's like my stepmom and my dad got married. She went to go dress shopping and made the mistake of bringing my gran, and my gran does not hide her opinions of people well, and she also talks very loudly. So like we were sitting like waiting for Marisa to get changed, and like she was going to go try on a dress, but meanwhile there was other women in the shop having their dress trying on as well, and this woman came out in a dress, and it was like a nice dress. She looked fine, and her friends are all like, "Oh my god, it's so beautiful!" Like, "Oh, I'm tearing up," and her mum's like crying, and it's like, "My wee girl," and my gran goes, "Aye, if they were her real friends, they'd tell her she's got back fat and that." I was like, "Gran, that was not as quiet as you meant it to be," and that is the vibe they are given.
That is the
Tall
whole
girl.
way, but with less subtlety
Yeah.
somehow. But yeah, that happens. There's not really much to say. It's a probably a bad pop song or a bad bit of instrumental.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't work.
We should really, like, for every high school episode of this podcast that we do, which seems to be like one a season, we should have like a bingo card and see how many times we scratch out the exact same tropes over and over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
We could do a drinking game next time.
Drinking game would be good. But yeah, no,
For
makeover
High School
montage, more makeover montage, more popular sisters, best friend character, love interest, will they want the interest? They're all
Falls
there.
in love with her best friend who she didn't realise that she was in love with the
Well,
entire
they're-
time.
Spoilies.
Well, spoilies, but you know where this is going.
I didn't.
Yeah, no.
Do you not remember that?
Yeah.
Because when we watched the like recap video, I had tuned out. I was really stressed, and I'd got up at 5 that day. And like we were watching this, and then you mentioned something about the fact that she ends up with Dunkelman, and like, see, unless you knew that was going to happen, I don't think that it's obvious because the film makes him so absolutely repellent, disgusting, grotesque, horrible, nasty wee boy that is nothing but horrible.
They
To
make
her.
him better by the end, but that's just because.
But suddenly, out of nowhere.
Steve
Yeah.
is just so evil.
Because
think
like
the
they
story's just
had
so
to
shite.
because they recorded the rest of it and they were like, oh, we made him too much. Like we're gonna really have to pull it out of the bag the other way to make him a little
Yeah,
bit
it's like-
redeemable.
They called him Dunkelman.
yeah.
When has that ever been the name of the love interest that gets the girl? And also, the entire film is about the love story of this lassie and Stieg, who have so much more chemistry that I just don't.
This is only, it's almost like the whole kind of Tangled thing where like Flynn Rider's real name's what, like Herbert or something?
Eugene.
Eugene.
Cousin called Eugene.
Yeah. So they're like trying to do that kind of thing, but like Eugene Dunkelman.
Yeah.
It's no like
Yeah.
that is an evil jester in a modern film's name. Dunkelman. You
Dunkelman.
know. That's
Jester
like,
Dunkelman.
yeah, that's like the vibe of like the wee cousin out of Harry Potter.
Rumpelstiltskin, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Bye. So
and also get him to make fun of people who get cesarean sections. Like,
weird.
what are you supposed
Weird
to redeem
lines.
yourself from that, or
So
what?
continue with the shite jokes format. Kimmy, Queen Bee decides to prank Jodie with her pal, who they're just hanging out in a basketball court at like 11 o'clock at night, inexplicably laughing at doing a bad impression of Stieg being into Jodie
Over the phone.
over the phone.
That's why
It's
she
shite.
doesn't
They do
realise
this a
it's
few times. Either way, next day this causes Jodie to have a meltdown in a bathroom stall because everyone's just shite, and she's just kind of stumbling about school. Really sad. Everyone's laughing. Well, no one's laughing at her. She just thinks everyone's laughing at her because Kimmy
Bullies
and
her.
one guy phoned her. And then suddenly she stumbles into a room. It's quiet. And it's beautiful music's playing, piano music. And Stieg is playing the piano. And he plays beautifully, but he's a bit unsure. But she shows him, and they play music together. And it's fine. And it's fine. It's not
yeah,
great.
It is like
It's not abjectly bad like the rest of it. It's
no.
their
What's
moment,
what's
though.
hilarious about it though is he's playing it like lip dip lip
I don't play
and
well.
then she goes, "You should try relaxing your hands," and he's like, "Diddle diddle 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 doo." Oh wow, thanks. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
She's like, "You should relax."
That's how you play piano.
Thing
I
is, I
guess.
don't know
Done,
if it's-
fixed.
Thing is, see when you say it out loud like this, you're like, oh, that could kind of be hokey, funny, silly, maybe. But if it was more aware, but it doesn't. It feels like it's trying to be all real. We have a message actually, instead of just be like, yeah, this is stupid. Bleh. They're like,
They keep just playing the start of For Elise as well and then never finishing it. Like they've just ad-libbed the rest of For Elise, like the most fucking commonly played piano song ever. Like, guys, also we had a moment where we were just like absolutely greeting laughing because we were watching it and there's a part where she's like, oh well, I'm really good at piano because like I know usually men are good at piano, it's because they've got big hands, but as I am so large, like I'm so monstrously tall, I have obviously got gigantic hands. And she's like does the whole comparing her hand to his by putting it on them, and we were convinced that he had to get a hand double. So
They shot it in a really weird way where you could see maybe it wasn't actually him because like she goes like that to put her hand up to his hand and he puts his hand up as well, and right before they actually touch so that they're right together, it cuts to a shot from behind his head and I'm like, he's got long blonde hair so it'd be really easy to swap him in a body double. I was like, it would be so funny
If
if
he
that
had little
wasn't him.
toty hands,
Like
and they had
tiny
to,
wee hands.
and they had to like get a hand double so that she wouldn't look as massive, so that she'd have someone who's got bigger hands than her. But it's just this whole thing
who
as well.
cares?
It's like, oh, I'm really good at piano because my hands are big because I'm so tall. Like, so I'm really good at piano and I'm beautiful and I'm tall. Like, shut up, man. Shut up.
And also then they bond over their mutual love of
Musicals. Well, this is what I was going to say. The only thing that I've taken from this that is the most important is Stig is like, oh yeah, I was in Cats. And I'm like, I need to know who he played in Cats. I need to phone up this writer or this director and be like, listen, if you like, this is my actual appeal. If you do see this podcast, tell me who he played in Cats in your head canon.
Maybe you'll find out in the
Tall Girl.
Tall Girl too.
Did he do Cats? Or does he mention it?
Well, it is about getting into a musical, so could get mentioned. You never know.
Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, they sing. It's lame. Kimmy shows up. She's angry. That's it.
She calls
Right.
him Stiggy Baby.
Oh, of course she does. Anyway, 1 week into Sticky baby, and then he's just like, "Oh, what? Can I hang out?" And she's like, "No, get away from anyone that isn't me." And so it's like 1 week into America, and Stig is already in like a top tier toxic relationship. So he's really doing well. But now we come to a very fucking silly scene that is actually kind of funny and so bad. Jodie goes home. Her dad has organised a meeting between the regional/local tall club, the Tip Toppers, with quotes such as, "It's normal." It's like, yes, it is. It's so normal.
That is genuinely like the
No one looks that weird.
the like the kind of criteria for this group is to be the same height as Swanee, essentially, and you're no like a monster. You're just like normal height.
You would love a tall girl, but you'd love a tall girl who's like, I'm beautiful, but I'm so ugly because I'm tall.
No, I'm not a monster. That was shite. Bad. Bad.
So they have this tall party, and they're all like, "Oh, we're so glad because we used to have 23 members, and now we have 24 because you're joining." And they've all got these little shite kind of
Hats
sailor
on.
hats, and they're all just like just talking about.
Singing songs
They've
of
got
being
there's
tall.
aggressively no riz in this scene at all. Like I kept waiting for who's going to be the comedy linchpin of this. Who's going to be the head of the Tall Society? Is it going to be
The Tall Society is models,
yeah,
All
mostly?
beautiful.
hot people.
Yeah. So we and Jodie cringe, and then they welcome her by going, "Oh, we'll welcome you in. Sing the theme song." And I remember we all just looked at each other, just collectively were like, "Oh no,
I can't.
Don't say-
Couldn't. I wasn't.
I didn't even know what the theme song was, and we're not going to try and remember." But so after that, she's raging. She goes to bed, and then the dad just kind of like poodles his way outside her door like a soggy wee like rag. And he's like, "Jodie, Jodie, I'm so sorry, Jodie. It's normal to be tall, Jodie." And it's like, we know. Man. Sorry I made you feel like a freak again. Just stop doing it then. Like, this guy is actually pacing around scenes, biting his nails about his tall daughter. It's like, man, this is... Like, if this is an issue
Our
now...
only problem is you.
Yeah, look, if this is an issue now, okay, say this is taken with the best possible reading. This is an issue because she's like 15, 16, and it's going to be 3 or 4 inches taller than the average tall person would be, right? Let's say that is jarring, okay? Say that it's actually, yeah. Oh, there's a bit of bullying going on with that. Say that's happened. Do you know how you deal with it? That'll be fine in a year. Do you know what I mean? Just like, oh, yeah, cool. Oh, it's annoying. Awkward high school growing up things. Those things happen. Oh. That was my reminder.
Your reminder of what?
1 hour reminder. I set it apparently. Totally just broke the flow. Never doing that again. Now we know. Now we know. But no, like literally the best thing to do with that would be like, yep, awkward high school things. People get bullied. There could be a lot worse things to get bullied about than, being tall. So you know what? We've dodged a bullet. You okay, Jodie? Love you. Let's go. And, no, instead he's turned this into like a pit. A miserable, stinking pit that she can't get out of because her mind is still developing. He is literally stunting her mind so badly with
He
all
can't
of
stunt
this.
her height, so he's stunting her
mind.
mental
Oh
growth.
my god. Fucking aye, Abby.
The film Tall Girl wouldn't exist if she didn't have her mental dad, her wee bobic boyfriend, and kind of Kimmy on the scene. She would literally just be like, she would be Kimmy
Well, to clarify,
'Cause
yeah,
she-
she would be.
because she's tall and beautiful, and none of this would have ever happened.
No, to clarify the vibe of this dad, for anyone that wants to know what he's like, you can look him up. If anyone's seen the first season of White Lotus, the dad in that, how he's a bit of a shut up man kind of guy. Imagine that, but with less of a good reason.
And it's the same actor.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's the same actor. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. It's that actor doing that sort of vibe. But
But
Jesus,
he's in White Lotus as well.
Yeah.
he's the first
We need to
season.
look at this, it's so good.
It's good.
While we're in their house as well, I meant to say this at the end of the makeover scene, but their house, like, none of it's in the same house, and that's fine. Her sister lives at the top of an evil tower. She lives in like a greenhouse, and the rest of the house is just weirdly decadent and opulent, but also just jarring and difficult to look at the same time. Like, there's points where there's like wallpaper that's one pattern, couches are another pattern. There's characters wearing really bright clashing patterns, and they're sitting on sofas that are clashing, and it's difficult to look at the whole room at once. And I was just like, who was the set designer? Who was the costume designer? Why did
Plus
they
an
not have each other's
absolute
numbers?
mess.
Like, it's just this
It's
whole
not
film.
Wes Anderson, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
It's not. But it's also not
It'd also be worse if it was done by Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson's Tall Girl would actually be kind of like,
See, I don't like Wes Anderson that much.
I would watch Wes Anderson's Tall Girl.
Yeah.
So
Wes Anderson's class. You're so wrong.
of course you think that.
What does that mean?
I'm a boy and I don't like to watch pink
Didn't
films.
say that.
Oh,
Didn't
I
say
don't like
that.
to watch,
Didn't say that.
like,
Didn't
Wayne's-
say that. Love Barbie. Love Barbie. Shut the fuck up.
Kicking about, going camping together, being wholesome. Foxes.
I like the Fox one.
Fox one's good.
Fox one's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I like the and I've not seen Grand Budapest. I think I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I quite like. I did like the Royal Tenenbaums. Didn't like it as much as the hype around it, but I did quite enjoy it.
Moonrise Kingdom's amazing.
Fair
Wait,
best
which
things.
ones do you not like?
Yeah.
Everyone else like
Like
the
what?
vibe.
Like, name one.
Well, like the thing is, I respect. Look, I respect Royal Tenenbaums. I don't really like it.
I think you
wouldn't-
just said you liked it.
No, but I wouldn't watch it again. I give it a
Mm-hmm.
7, but I wouldn't watch it again.
Why are you ragging on Wes Anderson?
Yeah.
The
Because-
worst example of filmmaking you can think of is a
You've given
7.
him an A.
What was the one? Did they do the dogs one?
The dogs one.
Isle of Dogs or something? Was that him? Was that someone else?
Cammy.
Fact check.
That was
seen.
terrible. That upset me. I liked Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That's Mr. Fox. It's good. Moonrise Kingdom would probably make you great. It's
Or
beautiful.
the submarine one. Jesus.
The submarine one.
Like
Life
Steve,
Aquatic.
Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I just his
What I
style
was-
gives me the fear.
What I was saying is that he's got a very particular
Mhm.
like look, and even if you don't like it, you can kind of admit that it's impressive, you know.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that this film doesn't have any of that. Nae riz,
It's got
nae
no riz.
set design riz,
It's
nae
got fuck
costume
all.
design riz,
But
except for Sabrina Carpenter's prom dresses.
Yeah, they're amazing.
But that's also because she's
they're on
stunning.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
100%.
yeah. So obviously with Tall Girl having a shocking time with her dad, they have a little heart to heart and it's whatever. But the universe rewards this absolutely horrible night that her dad's given her because Stieg actually phones her up and asks her to come round. And it's like, oh,
They're gonna watch a musical together.
we watch musical together. So she goes round, but of course, Stieg is living with Dunkers. Dunkelman, wee boy,
Stingy,
stingy, whatever.
Stingy dunks.
Him. And he's absolutely buoyed by answering the door because he just answers the door like in his VR headset on game chat, playing like Fortnite or some battle royale. He says, talking in Japanese, and it's like, "Oh my, hey, Jodie, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm here to see Stieg." And he's just like, "Oh."
He's telling her how beautiful she looks, and he's like, "You're a bit dressed up for a study night." And then Stieg walks out and is like, "Oh, thanks for coming over." And he is made to feel as small as he has tried to make her feel throughout this film.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice moment, actually.
That is a quite nice moment.
Yep. And but no, he doesn't just take this boy and go to bed like he should. He absolutely decides to make this horrible for everyone.
Yeah.
The
He,
men in this
as
film
you
are
would say,
terrible.
burns the fucking popcorn.
He burns the popcorn and like
Pishes in it.
pisses it and then scatters it about the room because he just stands in front of the TV while they're watching a movie. And he's like, "Oh, I'm out in the way." Right.
He completely ruins a date. Romantic vibe
Yeah.
by walking in front of the TV, going to the fridge and getting snacks, coming back through, forgetting he's got this snack in the kitchen, going back, then sits in between them, is like, "Guys, can I join?" Swanee's actually done this to me.
I got invited.
You did not get invited.
One time.
You sat on the opposite couch and you just criticised the TV show you were
What
watching.
were we watching?
Only Murders in the Building.
Oh.
What were we watching? Swanee, what was I watching with my boyfriend at the time when you decided you came in? You came in.
Was I in a bad mood? And
You were in a bad mood. You
Yeah.
came in. You said you've not been giving me enough attention because I was on a date. You sat across the room, uninvited, went on your phone, played videos loudly off your phone. And then, without having seen any other episode of the TV show, we're watching like the series finale. We're like enjoying it, right? And I could tell that Swanee taking it apart was making him enjoy it less. And Swanee's like, "Shite, it was a shite joke. Who wrote this? I'm gonna look it up." Rubbish screenwriter. This is just cringy, pish nonsense. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Look, can we grow?
This was this was
Can we grow?
This was the pre-podcast as well, by the way. So it wasn't like that was,
Can people grow?
that wasn't the vibe of chat. That's unbelievable that you did that. It's unfucking real.
I was in a bad mood. Something clearly started as a bit. I clearly wanted to watch TV, but Abby was using the TV because this
TV.
This is the time that I was borrowing Abby's TV a lot. So I was clearly in a wee fouly, and I was just going to be like, I've got a good way of like if I want to tear something apart like that, I can.
So you were a donkey
Yeah. Well, no, because I feel like
With different
no, not even
motivations.
motives. I just feel like
That's still-
Donkey wanted tall girl. Donkey wanted Jodie. You wanted the TV
I feel like
and attention from anyone.
aye.
Are you gonna take your boy and go to bed?
I fucking can't go to bed. I fucking do this. You fucking do the rest then. No. Where is it? Aye, he's the worst on this. Where is it? Weird tall folk don't fit in a tram pattern later. Right.
They go on a tram ride,
Oh.
and inexplicably the only people in the tram, and there's like normal seats, and they just can't sit together on a tram seat together. They're like doing some weird game of Tetris for like honestly about 40 seconds, and then they realize they could just like sit like this, like two people facing,
Like people sit on trams.
like people would sit,
on a
and
tram.
it's just fine. It works.
Yeah, and then they have a riveting discussion about the merits of being tall. It's not a tall, and then he's like, "It's not a tall girl I see. It's just a girl."
Words that she's been waiting to hear for her entire life.
Because her dad won't fucking say it for some reason.
Neither will fucking dunks, man.
Oh, all of them. Such weird fetishists, man.
This film would have just a much better vibe if their pattern was actually funny about her being tall. You could come out with some.
Yeah, if you just really
Funny,
played it
horrible
up
pattern
that
about
she
someone
wasn't
being
actually
tall.
that tall.
Aye.
That'd have been funny.
Yeah.
If they were all small. That'd be quite amusing. It'd be kind of like, I don't know, a film. That's really funny.
It's so funny as well. I think we glossed over this, not glossed over it, but forgot about it earlier. But after the whole incident with her dad planning the tall party, she actually goes and looks up how to get tall reduction surgery. Like chop bits of her fucking bones off so that she's less tall, because all these men in her life have given her such a complex about
It's horrible. And her
this
mum.
normal feature
Everyone.
that she has.
So anyway, Jodie gets home, and I once again is greeted by her sister being the best and bringing us back from the depths of depression. Our sister is just standing on the staircase.
Oh, and they kiss.
Aye, sure.
That's what this scene is about.
Yeah.
Cool. Stieg and Jodie kiss. Sorry. More importantly, however, the sister has been standing on the top of the staircase in darkness, in a red dress, posed, clearly waiting for Jodie to come in. Where's the dad? Where's the mum? Are they just sitting downstairs like, oh, the kids are at it again? Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, she's in a mid-dress wearing meltdown, and it's great. It's very uncanny. And then she starts asking Jodie questions about this guy Stieg, and Jodie just cuts through and goes, "Why do you have to stare out of a window when you talk to me?" And she just snaps at her and is again like, "Hey!" Runs down the stairs at her and it's like, oh my god. No chill, but very, very actually amusing. Little giggles. Meanwhile, at the Dunkers household, hate that, but that's the vibe they give. Stieg confesses to kissing Jodie, and then Dunkers has a Millie Bobby breakdown in his bed.
In there,
Actually sobbing his eyes out.
and it's like, it's a
Bunk bed?
bunk bed, but both of the beds are double beds. Why is that a thing? Why would that ever be a thing? I've never seen that before.
Has the mum bought this double bed, bunk bed, specifically for Stieg?
And then
coming over to stay
and,
this summer?
and Dunkers just
This
never
is-
noticed it.
Yeah, this is the other fucking trope that these American films do, where, well, not necessarily just American films, because they do it in the In-Betweeners as well, where these mums just foist like random children
Exchange
on other families and be like, look, we're housing this guy for the summer, he's going to stay here, without telling anyone. Why has there been no discussion?
You know that wee lassie
about
that you
this?
fancied since you were 4 years old? Well, this guy is here to steal her away from you because it's a teen film.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that there would be some random hot person staying here that's not actually related to you.
And I know you
Yep.
have an issue with another person, you know, using your food, your clothes, your bed, your pals, your
life.
your life. But like, you need to grow up because you're being a cunt.
And
Like,
it's
how this works?
always a surprise.
Uh-huh.
They always find out once they're already like in their bedroom or in their car or
Yeah.
in their class. And
Or
it's
they've
like,
already had a fight with them.
yeah.
Or they've already,
met.
they're either will they, won't they? And so it's like, oh, guess who's coming round for dinner? And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Why is that a thing?
Because it's
Yeah,
very
I get
easy.
why
Yeah,
it's a
it's
thing.
very easy to do tension and drama out of that. And pesh. Meant to be funny, not. So anyway, Dunkers has his breakdown / weird erection hearing about this kiss, whatever his performance is giving me in this scene. Meanwhile, next day at school, everyone is just talking about Stieg and Jodie, and it's like they suck. And then we get into this weird scene where Stieg is sitting with all the popular people and he's like, "Hey, Dunkers, come over." "Oh, no, guys, he's really funny. And he goes, "Dunkers, do your impressions." And I was like, oh no, here we go. And it's like, do your Gordon Ramsay impression. And as someone who watches a lot of Gordon Ramsay, you know, and I think most people of this day and age have seen quite a fair bit of Gordon Ramsay. He does a very average impression of...
He just has an English accent
Yeah,
and quotes Gordon
and I'm
Ramsay.
blind. My gran could do that, and she's blind. Oh, where's the lamb sauce? And it's like, okay,
Oh,
man. Yeah,
mortifying.
I
And
guess.
again, the popular folk in your school would never lap this shit up.
Maybe if
would
English wasn't
never
your
do
first
it.
language, you'd be like, that's great, spot on, man.
Yeah.
And then you would get him to do it in front of everyone else, and they'd be like, shit.
yeah, but no,
that doesn't
which would have been
happen.
funny.
Yeah.
But then,
Back to your jester table, Dunkelman.
The thing is,
That was
I want to take that for our D&D character now, Dunkelman.
Dunkelman is now social climbing. Jodie's obviously kind of social climbing because she's getting a mistake. What about the pal? What about we toxic
The
positivity?
writers forgot about her, and so will we. But no, this scene ends. And, it's a little funny giggle. Terrible Gordon Ramsay impression, fighting whatever. And then Steve goes, "Oh, that was great. Hey, do your Kevin Hart." It's like, no, don't do your Kevin Hart.
And the audience takes a sharp intake
Oh
of
my
breath.
god, we literally brace for impact of that. Like,
It'd be so funny if the scene just ended there. Oh,
Yeah,
hey, do your Kevin Hart.
that would have
Cut.
been that'd have been a good fucking joke. And then
no,
and
we
then
don't
cut
get
him
that.
and then
No.
cut him with a black eye that he gets later on. Oh, they kept giving Dunkers black eyes. That'd have been great.
Oh, that's when Jodie said, "Why did you get your black eye?" and he told her a lie. This is later on in the film. He should have said, "Oh, because I did my Kevin Hart impression again." Didn't go down so well
Again,
this
Dunkers,
time.
you got suspended last semester for that. We had a whole parent teacher conference around that. Oh god. Anyway, so of course, as this is going on, Dunkers is climbing up the social ladder. Jodie's not really now.
Oh, because the reason Dunker's climbing up the social ladder is that in their weird, slightly sexual tensiony double bed chat, he was like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have kissed Jodie. You've got a girlfriend. That's wrong. Like, obviously, you need to tell Jodie you don't want to be with her." And then that's kind of where we're going from here. They've decided that Kimmy and Stieg are a couple, and that Jodie's chopped liver.
Aye. So they kind of just. Jodie and Dunkers just really into this weird toxic back and forth looking at each other across the room. It's like, what are we doing? And it's yeah. And then he gets hit by a car or walks by a car bonnet.
No, he drives into a car. He cycles into a car.
that's
What
right.
happens is that Stieg patches her at school after they've winched the night before, right? The Swedish guy patches tall girl, and she's like, "What was that about?" And then all of a sudden, Dunkers is his best pal, so she goes outside at school and she's like, "What did you say to him? Why is he patching me?" And then he's like, "I'm just gonna run away," and then he gets hit by a car, and she's just running after him, and the way that they've shot it, it actually does make her look like a monster. Because he's sprinting his way away on his wee fucking Dora the Explorer trike, and she's just powering after him "I'm gonna beat you to death, man." And then he's like, "Yeah, no, I told him that kissing someone that isn't your girlfriend's wrong," and she's like, "What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
Why are you like this?"
And even now, she's like, "I don't fancy you. This is literally for nothing. You're just being a dickhead." And we're so far into this film at this point, and there's no indication, to me anyway, who didn't know what was going to happen, that they were meant to end up
right.
together.
And so then you think, okay, she's now found out that something's happened, because then her and Stieg talk again. And then they just decide to remain friends. And you're like, where are we going? What is happening with this?
Nothing.
She looks lost
Nowhere.
and sad. I feel lost and sad. I bet you feel lost and sad listening to this.
Yeah.
But no, now we've got a weird New Orleans shite dance party with the worst dancing extras I've ever seen in my fucking life. I don't know if it's meant to be some sort of parade. And it's yeah,
Is
the
it
parade's
not
going.
Mardi Gras? Is that not
Is
New
that meant
Orleans?
to be their Mardi Gras?
Yeah, that's what's
Set in New Orleans. So.
Well, see how I went to New Orleans and they were like, "Man, come out for Mardi Gras," and it was anything
It was
that.
six
I honestly would just,
extras.
I would just tell everyone.
doing the two-step.
It literally is. I would literally just tell everyone that I meant, "Oh, Mardi Gras is bullshit, man. That's a lie."
I got there and
That's
there
like
was just
haggis running around the
20 white
fields.
people doing the cha-cha slide in a street with no music.
Yeah.
That was shocking.
So the whole point of this is that Kimmy inexplicably approaches Jodie and is like, "Look, so earlier on
What's
the
a party
film,
she'd been invited to?
yeah, earlier on in the film, Kimmy and this other boy who, what's his name again? Doesn't matter. Kimmy and this boy that
The prank boy.
the prank boy, had prank called Tall Girl. So Kimmy approaches Tall Girl at Mardi Gras ? And it's like, "See that guy who prank called you earlier in the film? He actually really fancies you now. So we're
And
gonna
they just keep cutting to the same shot of him, just
we're
like,
going to an escape room on Friday night. Do you want to come?" And she's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I guess." And she's like, "Great." this girl who's been making fun of her the whole film, and then her pal, very like fairly, is like, do you not think that they might be making fun of you again? Like, why would they invite you to an escape room? Why this guy is the guy who prank called you and like took the piss out of you? Why would he want to go on a date with you? And she's like, you're just fucking jealous because I've got a date and you have a problem with that. And she's like, no, I just like this happened like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I just feel like
also,
So then
he's
Jodie's
not
just
changed his
horrible
mind
and
in this
basically
thing.
cuts off things with the pal.
even if it was genuine and he was asking you out, he's been bullying you for your entire life, and I
should
just don't
still
know if that's a
check.
healthy decision for you.
Yeah, so Jodie just goes
So
wild.
she's like, yeah, you're shite. Enjoy Mardi Gras, man. And then leaves, and the pal's like, right, okay.
Awesome. I've got no friends now. All I've done is, I mean, not foolproofly, but like I've been the only person in this film that's ever been nice to anyone, and she's just getting no pals.
Yep.
It's shocking.
That's her fate.
So now we jump to the most pointless sequence or worst scene in the thing, the New Orleans themed escape room. And, you know, this film feels like an escape room. So I'm trying to look for ways to shorten this. No, all
Completed
jokes
in an hour and 45 minutes.
I was sitting going into this going, we're going to do this in 50 minutes, man, I swear. But no, basically this escape room is whatever themed, kind of voodoo, New Orleans theme, whatever, fine. And they started in the escape room, and then they're like, should we take a little break and have a kiss, everyone? So like all the people just couple off, like
Like
three
an organised
Yeah,
kiss
yeah,
in a circle.
like on 3 different chairs, like 3 different sets of chairs, 6 people all looking at each other as they do it, 6:45, winch time, and they'll just have this. It's a really bizarre scene, and
Why
it's
didn't
no
they just
funny
go bowling?
because they're in an
Why-
escape room,
But
so they can do this.
like, why couldn't they have just
Go to
kissed
someone's
at bowling?
house.
Aye, or went to someone's house.
Go
I
to
don't
the
get
park.
it. Aye, or at the park. Like, why
On the
have they
street.
chosen somewhere that has a time limit and specifically
In Steve's
Points-
Moz car.
points cameras in the rooms that you're doing stuff in, so that the game like makers can watch and give you advice and stuff like that? Why is this the place that they've decided they're gonna sit and have the 3-way organized kiss with the pal group?
It would have been so funny if the guy who watched it was like, "Oi, stop that!
See,
2
that would have
inches
been funny.
apart."
That would
Right?
that would have been
That'd have
funny.
been fucking hilarious.
Come on, guys, 5
Get Ben
minutes.
Stiller to play that role. Can you imagine that? Ben Stiller just like in a control room.
Ben Stiller.
Oh, no. I was just thinking about him in I was just thinking about him in. You ever see him doing his little bit parts in like
His little butt bars.
in like Forrest Gump? When he's in Forrest Gump as like the evil nursing home assistant. I could just see that vibe.
That's Happy Gilmore.
That's what I meant. Happy Gilmore. What did I say? Forrest Gump.
So what the fuck are you talking
Same
about?
film. Same fucking film.
I cried at both of
same
them.
plot. No, nah. I cried at one of them for reasons and another one for reasons. Fucking hate Forrest Gump.
Cried at Happy Gilmore because I thought it was a really sad film. Watched it when I was a kid and I didn't understand it was a comedy. I just took it all really seriously.
Never seen Happy Gilmore, don't know what it's about.
Oh. We should do that on the podcast. I'll just be sitting greeting at it.
And I'll just be sitting here like, oh, this film.
Anyway,
Anyway.
so
Bye. So, really surreal sequence. And then it goes, Jodie goes to leave, like, yeah, this is fucking weird, but it's an escape room, so you think, oh, cool.
That's why it was in it.
We're about to get a funny joke. And then it just cuts away, and you're like, man, you fucking suck, film. It's actually, the editing is annoying me so
They
much
put her in
now.
that position because you're like, oh, it's so awkward that she can't get out. But basically what happens is she walks over to a door and it doesn't open and then it cuts to the next scene.
yeah.
It's like, what was the point in her being trapped in there if we didn't
The
get to
whole
see
point of this-
why it was awkward that she was trapped in there?
The whole point of this organised kiss is so that, because Dunkelman's got a lassie now, by the way, just
Oh,
for,
yeah.
That art
for
girl.
plot, right? So it's Dunkelman and this lassie, Kimmy and fucking Skit or whatever his name is,
Steve.
Stig, sorry,
Skit. Stig.
and then Tall Girl and this guy who's been bullying her, right? And Dunks is looking at Tall Girl while he's winching the person with his eyes open. Tall Girl is winching with her eyes open, looking at Stig, and Stig is winching with his eyes open, looking at Tall Girl. So that's the whole
Dunkelman.
point.
I am mine being 13.
So they're all just like really kind of firmly kissing each other with their eyes open
I
and
mind,
looking at each
I
other.
mind kissing
at
folk
an
behind the
escape
swimming
room.
baths. whatever.
These are meant to be the cool kids. Well, half the cool kids, and then apparently 3 losers that they've just decided they have to hang out with now.
So, it goes to the next scene, which is
So we basically, a few things kind of happen. We're now setting up for the final stretch. Okay, so I'm just going to sum these up quite quickly. A few things are happening. Stieg and Jodie are deciding to date. Jodie's pal is away on her cell.
I feel like I've
Fine.
watched this already.
And the sister is having a depressive episode on the build-up to her pageant because, you know, she's high as fuck. So now she's having the big old crash before having to take some fucking lines again and go back on stage, apparently. So, sister's pageant. Stieg, now dating Jodie, is invited to the sister's pageant to meet the family, and the dad is, you've never seen him happier. This dad is so happy. He's like, oh my God, my freak of a daughter has got a fucking beautiful man. Yeah, he's from a weird country, but fuck it. Like, it's better than the hell that she was in. Which, again, he put her in.
Being 16 and single, which is, again,
But
fine.
that he put her in.
Mhm.
She would not be single if he hadn't done anything. If he'd parented at all, she'd be fine. But anyway, and also this is also the same night as Dunkelman is organising a big end of year party. Right, this is all happening at once. So, sister's pageant. Sister nails it, throwing her knives. She's absolutely crazy. She's brilliant. She's doing it. Shouldn't be illegal because it's a blindfolded knife throwing contest in front of Wayne's. But she does it, nails it, brilliant. There's actually has the funniest line where she does like a speech. It's like a play on the kind of speeches that Miss America models would give. And it's like, how I think we should address this problem with the grace and decorum in the ongoing Middle East conflict, something like that. But they do it with the mum, like almost like they've practiced it together. That's a funny joke.
Yeah.
And I know if talking about it isn't, but there's so
Says she would apply her hotel management degree experience to the conflict in the Middle East.
yeah. So I think I know talking and explaining a joke like that can ruin it, but I'm honestly I'm grasping at grains with this film. I need you to know there are some funny bits, and it's all the sister,
Yeah.
all the time.
MVP.
But anyway, dad's buzzing, and it's almost like the dad's psychotic buzzing energy kind of affects the plot because Stieg decides to inexplicably not show up, even though there's plenty of time to go that and then go to Dunker's party because that's been established that it can all happen. Anyway, so then we get a grim shite montage with the dad's just sitting looking over at his daughter the whole way through it, and it's like, man. There's actually a cute little moment where the sister's on stage and is like,
She's like accepting her prize.
she's getting her prize for winning, and then she sees that Jodie's alone. She's like, are you okay? It's like, actually, I was like, I got a little
Yeah.
tear. I just went,
It was
I guess I
oddly
love that sister
genuine.
character.
yeah.
Did you get a wee tear?
I did actually get a wee tear.
Oh, you
my God.
suck.
I do. Look, there's just something about
Sisters.
sisters,
Yeah.
women, just being all, hey, I love you too. It's just like, anyway.
That's how Todd felt at the end of Barbie.
Yes. Look, I felt like that too. I just got confused about what I was seeing. We're not getting into
We're
that
not.
again.
We can't. We
I
literally
will
can't.
cry next time with Barbie. I'm sure I will. I cried at other parts. Leave me alone. Anyway, what's the word for it? So,
The dad's more devastated than
no,
even
Dad's
she
more
is.
devastating than anyone. They're riding home, and the dad's like, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to find that Stieg, and I'm going to run him over with my car. How dare he do that to my tall daughter?" It's like, oh, Dad, you're taking all the wrong lessons every single chance. But anyway, Jodie decides, fuck it, I'm going to Dunker's party. Let's get this out here. So she goes to Dunker's party. It's a wild, there's another trope. Teen movie, wild party,
Right back
woo,
at
red
all.
cups, beer pong, whoa, who brought the keg? Pish. They do that.
Did you say ket or keg?
The keg, not the keg. It's an American teen movie. It's not a Glasgow teen movie, Anyway, Jodie,
Who brought the cat?
who brought the keg? Oh, no. That would have made it much more
Really
interesting.
funny.
Jodie finds Stieg just flirting with everyone at the party, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, babe, I was going to show up, but, Dunker's party was actually really lit. So, YOLO. And it's just like, right. So she just goes, well, you're a dick, and then leaves. So,
But also, he hasn't broken up with Kimmy, and he told her he was going to break up with Kimmy.
Oh,
And she's
yeah.
like, you
Yeah,
haven't, have
yeah,
you? And he's
yeah,
like, no.
yeah.
And she's like, right, well, fuck you then.
yeah, which is fair. And also to be, and also to, and also to be fair, that's actually kind of the most realistic teen behavior I've seen
Yeah.
so far. Like, I can kind of excuse this, but there's nothing to excuse because the rest of the film's a travesty. But this doesn't feel like a plot contrivance to me. This just feels like fucking stupid wee teens.
Yeah.
Which I genuinely, again, if
Wee
we
teens. No, Swanee. Tall teens.
tall teens, yeah, fucking inexplicably so. Anyway, meanwhile, while Stig's doing this, his bro in fucking mischief, Dunkers, is playing with the emotions of the art girl, and is like, yeah, do you like me? Yeah, okay. And I would say this if I liked you. But also, nah, I don't want to be with you. I love Jodie.
He gets asked to homecoming. She goes, do you want to come to homecoming with me? He goes, yeah, I do. But also, I don't.
I like you,
Such a.
but I don't.
And, like, I would love to be with you, but
But I
I'm in
won't.
love with someone else.
Look, hands up.
And she goes, yeah, no. I kind of thought that maybe you would, like, get grip and go over that because it's clearly not happening.
Hands up.
Fine.
We've all done that. At least I have, in some capacity. Definitely later than these characters did age-wise. But the point is, Dunkers, stop it. Like, I wouldn't do it in that exact context. Like, the first time someone goes, hey, would you like to come to homecoming with me? If I was having doubts about it, I wouldn't go, yes. But no. I wouldn't do it like that.
It wasn't like he said yes because he was, like, saying yes and then he changed his mind. He was just like, in a way, yes, but also...
Which again is also kind of realistic, a cringy
I know.
wee white guys. Anyway, so but he's like, yeah, I don't know if you know, but I'm like in love with Jodie. And then honestly, we're just like, yes,
And then
man,
and then
that is your
again-
sole character trait.
See for the
Apart
rest.
from the milk crate
See for the rest of
that he
the
carries
film as
about,
well.
still carries. Sorry.
That lassie, that wee art lassie, is like helps him out with the rest of the film. Like, I can't remember what it is he does later. I don't care, but he does something, and she gives him a hand. No, what we're about to talk about, the next part of the plot, she helps out with. She's on his side after doing that,
Yeah.
after taking her on a date, winching her, and then saying, "Yes, I will go to prom, but I won't."
Yeah.
And here's why. It's like,
So that
shut
vibe.
up, man.
It's given me
Scratch that, reverse it.
Cole Sprouse. It's given me Cole Sprouse. In the
Can't
Call
wait
Her
to do
Daddy
Willie.
interview.
Sorry.
I hate these fucking fucks, man. This fucking stupid film, man.
It's
Who is it?
ruining me.
Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse in the Call Me Daddy interview, the podcast, where he's just like, can I smoke? And he just starts talking about how misunderstood he is and everything. That conversation between the two of them was very like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Terrible.
Yes. A death angel.
Yes.
Anyway, so we then cut to sad piano scene with the dad playing the piano, and then his tall girl, his tall daughter, comes and plays the piano with him. And look, if I wasn't so infuriated with the characters, I may have got a bit like, oh, that's quite nice. But for what it is, it's not a bad scene, and they clearly, through not a lot of dialogue or very little dialogue, kind of seem to repair that relationship. And then he allows Dunkers to sneak into her room while she sleeps, which is great. So she just wakes up to Dunkelman just like with a black eye staring at her, and she just fucking like punches him, kicks him over, and he's like, "How do you know jiu-jitsu?" And it's like piss joke time. But basically, Dunkelman has a black eye, setting up a little mystery. But honestly, who
cares?
gives a fuck?
Do you know, I actually watched this and was like, because
I didn't-
I was tired and was hungover, and I just thought, I must have missed the scene where somebody smacked him, because that just was like,
I must have
yeah.
missed the scene where he goes whoopsies and falls down some stairs and goes like, "Oh, I did an owie." That's just his entire vibe.
Also, he did cycle into a car like yesterday.
Or like gets gets punched by art girl. Oh, that went well. Do you know what I mean like that kind of like honestly, minging.
I feel as if he could have been like, oh, the bruises just come out from that car accident I had yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like some sort of weird little thing that they decide to keep from us. Fine. And then he gives her some high heels for the prom and does some flirting. And then he basically just starts listing out her personality traits, but like they're bad ones. But he's like, I like that about you, though.
My favourite movie trope ever is when they list off like little quirks that they've noticed of somebody.
But you hold your pencil just a little bit higher than the rest of us.
Yeah.
As if you got more to say, and you got to write quicker. You don't want to write too hard because you break the break the lead. Or you know the way you twirl your hair is almost like you're trying to find a new bend for it. It's like, what are you talking about?
And they're all like quite normal things as well. It's like, oh, I love the way that you'll have milk in your cereal in the morning, but not at night.
I love the way that you like breathe. It's like, yeah, okay, man, sure.
But like hers make her sound like a psychopath.
Yeah,
he's like, I love the way that you get in the front with the Uber driver so he doesn't feel lonely. Like,
do you know what I love?
What are you talking about?
Right. What are you talking? Yeah. But the funniest bit about all this guided meditation of like, you know, an actual moment of a little bit of chemistry between Dunkelman and her, it then results like her having trying to build up her confidence to go to prom, and then it ends with Jodie deciding to stay on prom night. Like it's like, oh, okay, and then she's just in bed for prom night. But then the art girl decides to send a video from Dunker's party to Jodie going, hey, listen, I need you to see this. People have been shite to you. And it's like, okay, fair play. So basically, in the party, we hear that Stieg is basically boasting about not actually being into Jodie, and that it's all a big scam, a big sham.
He said that it was all a joke and that she confessed her love for him.
Yeah, and which is like, clearly a lie. He's clearly doing it to be the popular guy, blah, blah, blah.
That actually happened to me in school.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
You're a wee dick.
I'm a wee dick.
Oh, it happened to you.
It happened to me. I didn't do it. I went on a date with this guy. I was 13.
No.
And I remember exactly what I was wearing because I was so excited for it. I had like a wee like kind of dark green kilt on, like tartan kilt, and I had like a black shirt and had my hair done in bunches. Like I was very excited for it. Went out to I went out to get pizza with him, and then we had a walk through the park, and then I just remember being like, I was given like a wee kind of interesting facts. So I was like, oh, do you know you can tell the gender of a tree by what kind of leaves it's got and stuff like that. And then I was so excited about telling everyone about it in school, and then he was like, that didn't happen. I wouldn't go out with fucking tree trunk thighs. And I was like, okay. And then he told everyone it never happened, and everyone believed him, obviously. Oh my god, guys, it's funny.
I'm on the first day of my period. What's your excuse?
I'm on the first day of your period. Oh, Claude.
Oh no, that sucks.
It's really freaking upsetting.
You're so shocking.
You're gonna melt my mascara. I was like, okay.
I can just see you being so excited. Just all. Did you cry?
Probably, yeah.
Oh.
Probably at the time, at some point I did, yeah.
She speaks with such distance of it because she's had to like compartmentalize that situation and push the trauma away. Oh, this is a therapy session.
Do you know, to this day, he still acts like that. Like one of my pals bumped into him at a concert, and he was like, "Oh, I saw Claude on the weekend." And he was like, "Who's that? Sorry." And I'm like, "Oh, what? You don't remember the Claude from your school? Really? The female lassie called Claude? Is that just like?"
I've had that with folk before,
man?
where folk like I was really close with years ago, and you're like, "Oh, do you remember this thing?" They're like, "No." And you're like, okay, and then you just mention like another like 6 things, and they get really innocuous. Where it's like, "Oh, do you remember that time we were like hanging out and watched that film?" And they're like, "Man, we didn't hang out." It's like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, some people are weird, man. But so revealed. That happened. Stieg breaks Claude's heart. and we can never forgive him. I'm on the dad's side now. From a Claude girl. Hated that too.
Aye, we should make a film about me and my wee
No,
emo existence.
if you-
Emo girl. And then the theme song can be the
Emo
Willows.
girl.
it has to be
the
both of
Willows.
you. It has to end with you two meeting each other when you are older. Devastating.
Who in the world do we think right now wants to be listening to this?
To this podcast. Should we cut all this out? Possibly. Anyway, no. So,
We're at the end.
I know.
So-
fucking.
Dunkelman is shouting at Stieg.
Yes.
Yes.
So no, sorry. So Stig's been revealed, and then Dunkelman comes up to him and is like, comes up to him and is like, what are you doing? Oh my god! And he does the list thing again, but goes into even more. Do you know what colour her eyes are? And he's like, oh, but blue, green. He's like, no, they're green. It's like, okay, but it's not quite like that. But
Yeah.
the idea, he's just listing all this stuff out. Blah 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 blah.
What's her favorite theater snack?
What's our favourite page of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire? You know, it's like shit. Like it's like really specifically stupid things. But anyway, does this? Jodie's watching this video because someone's recorded it for some reason, and then this guy gets heated. That kind of guy that was trying to kiss Jodie is also playing up to the crowd. The guy that she was kissing at the escape room, and he's like, haha, yeah, she's so tall. Something like that, right? So then Dunkelman just flat out punches him, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah, you'd have got more than a black
Wait, he
eye for
doesn't
that.
punch Stieg? Oh my god, he doesn't
No,
punch
he
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't punch
He
Steve.
punches the pal.
Yeah,
He
so
punches
then-
the guy that was prank calling Tall Girl.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
is he not just like basically defending his own power? He's like, I thought it was kind of funny.
yeah, something like that. So then punches him, and then obviously, like Dunkelman would clearly have gotten it. Given the whole context of everything, he probably would have got the shit kicked out of him more than just a black eye. Anyway, that's Revelation. So this, for some reason, you know, is very on brand for Dunkelman, and for some reason, despite him having done this the whole time through the movie, this time it makes Jodie go, "Oh, that was lovely."
Yeah. It's so funny.
And
Again,
she gets dressed for prom
it
and goes.
It reminds me of my sister when she was in school. This guy had been cheeky to her. I don't know what had happened, but her boyfriend was like, I'm going to defend your honour. I'm going to go up to this guy and I'm going to be like, who the fuck do you think you're speaking to? That's my missus, right? And there was like this video of him like my sister's boyfriend storming into this classroom and grabbing this guy like by the collar and being like, what the fuck are you speaking to, right? Like defending her honour, and like instead of being like, oh my god, that's so romantic, she just stuck like Tiny Tim SpongeBob music over the top of it. Boyd, her boyfriend. Which
That's
is
so
very
funny.
funny. And that's the natural reaction, but no, Tall Girl's like,
He has.
he beat everyone at the party with his milk crate.
He is beautiful.
What the film wants you to think is that the spell's been broken, that she has finally seen someone who really loves her say how much they love her, and that has made her realize her own self-worth, and now she has the confidence to wear the most ugly outfit we've ever seen in our lives and go off and go to prom and wear her heels and all this sort of stuff. No, that's not what's happened. That's not what's happened at all. What's happened is that a lifetime of gaslighting and negging
the fire's
has
gone.
finally like crushed her
sparks
into
ha-
submission because she's just seen the one guy that she's ever really fancied and really felt attraction towards, like wanted to shag basically, has just stood up in front of everyone who's ever made fun of her and went, yeah, she's shite. And our wee shite pal that she doesn't fancy, that always tells her that he's the only one that's ever going to love her, stands up for her and does a big thing. And then this lassie at her school that seemed quite nice is like, I've recorded this and sent it to you, so now you can see how much everyone hates you because there's only one person that stood up for you, and your dad is greeting downstairs because he thinks that the only man that will ever be attracted to you has patched you off. So of course she's going to be like, well, I better go to prom where I didn't want to be, and I better wear this ugly outfit, and I better settle for this wee repulsive man. And
his terrible Gordon Ramsay impressions.
Aye.
Yeah,
Yep.
anyway, so she does.
100%.
So look, she goes to prom. Everyone's there. She walks in. Kim and Stieg get homecoming king and queen. Everyone's like, yay. And then the sister gets one last joke where she avoids like congratulating them, which is funny because my sister's there presenting the award for cool. At least she's there. And then tall girl walks in wearing her 4-inch heels and her terrible outfit. And everyone's like, oh my God. And she goes up and goes, hey, you might know me as Giraffe. And everyone's like,
Who are you?
yeah, who's this? What's going on? So then she just has a main girl, a main character moment where she just has this big thing. I'm so much more than just a tall girl.
Hey, the weather up here, it's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, that's how it ends. Cool, fine. And then Steve kind of follows her out and is like, hey, wow, that was so amazing. Jodie, listen, I was wrong. I need to be with you. And then she's like, nah, fuck you now.
So you're like, good. Okay, good start. Good start. Doing well so far.
Go home.
Go home, recuperate.
Accept yourself.
Yeah.
And be fine. And move school.
Yeah. So then she goes home, but the puppet master has played his trick, and so he must be there. And we see on the porch, little Dunkelman. Little Dunkelman.
I think she goes to Dunkelman's because he's grounded, which is why he's not at
the prom.
I don't care. I don't care where he is.
Because he wrecked his house for the house party, so he doesn't get to go to prom.
So
he's sitting in his house. So she goes to see him afterwards, and she's like, "Hey, what you did was actually pretty cool." And then he's like, "I love you.
Always have. Oh, I love you. Always have. Always will." I'm pretty sure that was William Wallace from Braveheart. I just quoted there for some reason. Anyway, so does that, and then he's like struggles with his milk carton, and she's like, "Why do you still carry everything in a milk carton?" He goes, "For this," and then puts the milk carton on the ground and uses it as like a step-up ladder so that he can kiss her. Imagine it was actually a step-up ladder.
It would be so funny.
Cracks it out.
If she just pushed him up.
She just put it down the steps.
Or he just went through it. And then
He's been carrying it around since the day he met her, apparently.
That's how I'd have done it. That'd have been funny. Imagine that was the last shot. He finally does it, and it snaps. He falls. She catches him, and it's a freeze frame of them both laughing as he falls. That'd have been funny.
He stands in the milk crate, and he's still like a foot shorter than her.
Oh God. Or he's like taller. She's like, oh, that's a bit intimidating.
She picks him up and puts him down and goes,
there.
No.
No, but gives him a kiss in the cheek. No, he goes for the kiss. She goes. Anyway, they kiss.
She kisses him on the forehead.
And then the last line is literally like, we can either diminish ourselves or we can stand tall. And it's like, yep, cool. Of course, the last thing is, and it's like for a problem that doesn't exist. This one was a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Like,
just talking about it makes me feel like I haven't been to sleep in 3 days.
Yeah, right. And I feel like I've not.
Yeah.
But
I feel like my life hasn't been the same ever since I watched this film in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
I feel like it's made me hysterical.
Quick fire things. Well, no, let's just do our ratings first since we're in that mood first.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to give a 2.
Worse than 17 again?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
But the sister.
The sister's where the 2 comes from. That's where the 2 comes from. No, she gets 2 of the points. The rest of the film is shocking. The soundtrack is shocking. The pal who, encourages the best friend, tall girl, to be herself, never gets a true arc. They just kind of like briefly make up at prom. All the love interests are shocking. All the bullies are shocking. The dad is shocking. The mum is shocking. The sister is the only. Like, even tall girl herself is pretty shocking, right? There's the lessons terrible. Their whole kind of like I'm against body. I'm against body positivity. I'm pro body positivity. Is totally ruined by the fact that they're just constantly like making shocking comments about people's bodies.
This film has given more tall people a complex than have ever had a complex before.
Yeah,
and they
is that weird?
And they haven't even seen it. Yeah. They've not even seen it. But they were just cutting about the world, being like, I'm tall. But I like the way I look. Netflix has brought out a film called Tall Girl about a girl who looks absolutely fine, but she fucking hates herself because she's tall. Should I feel bad about being tall?
They've manifested it.
Yeah.
So what would you give it, Abby?
One. Wait, can we give it the Euros? Is that allowed? Have you done that before?
Even for the sister?
I just feel like I like shit films. I like shit films. I enjoy shit films. I'm not pretentious about films.
It's a
But
bad film.
this, like, I would never even say to someone like, "Oh, you should watch it as a laugh." No one should watch this. Don't watch this film. Don't do it to yourself. Don't. Okay.
Watch Cosmonaut Variety. I would talk about
if
it.
you're
That's
gonna
kinda
watch
funny.
it, do that.
Or
But,
listen
like-
to this podcast.
Or a better
You
already have.
hunt
Oh,
from
you
us.
have. If you're at this stage, but like, watch it again. Come back, please.
But also for for like actual legal rights, please watch the film that we talk about. You inform your own opinion by watching it.
Yeah,
But-
I didn't enjoy this, and I
No.
wouldn't watch it again. And I didn't. I think it has to be like on par with or worse than Now You See Me. So I'm gonna give it a 1.
Fair. So I'm gonna give it probably a 3. Solely for the sister character.
Fair.
And like honestly, see if the rest of the film was maybe like a 3 and it was just the sister character, it might even get a 5. But the rest of the film isn't.
No,
It really
ground us down, man.
it was bad.
I think the fact that we were like really, really disgustingly hungover as well when we
Yeah.
were watching it did not help things whatsoever. It
You
just
we
made
drank
us
more.
hate.
It was pish.
Um,
It was ridiculous though.
it was
definitely
ridiculous.
ridiculous,
Definitely
but
ridiculous.
definitely falls in the bad category. It's down there. It's tied with 17 again.
I
I'd
think
probably give it to this over 17 again, just for the female, just for the sister character. But even then, like now, we're
I think that the
eventually.
sister character is also getting our rogues gallery.
Oh yeah, she's getting it. Like
Yeah.
the dad's probably more roguish, and maybe Dunkelman is in some ways, and maybe I don't care. The sister character deserves it.
She does
And
deserve it.
She is,
She is the most out of place, I think.
and she belonged in
The-
such a better movie.
The the throne of the knives, that's very, very out of place
Oh,
for a film this late.
Everything she does.
She's great. And
If this was everyone's a Muppet, it would be the one human character.
Sister.
The sister?
Yeah.
I can imagine. No, I disagree. I think it would have to be Tall Girl herself because everyone else would be.
Oh my god,
ridiculously
that would
small.
be so funny. The Muppets Tall Girl. That would be so good.
That'd be so
I would
good.
watch Wes Anderson's Tall Girl. I would watch The Muppets Tall Girl. Okay. Quick fire question, as I'm trying to do at the end of these episodes
Yeah,
now.
I've got one as well.
James Corden is now in this movie.
Uh-huh.
What is
God.
his role? And what does he do? Not a character that already exists.
Oh,
He is
a new character.
new character, and it's
that's
played by James
bogging.
because that's the only thing that can make this film worse.
He is.
Oh my god, he's like it's.
He's a school therapist.
No,
Guidance counselor.
Yeah, guidance counselor.
no, he's the school music teacher, right? He's in the piano room, and the reason why they like mention cats is that it's like a kind of slight, like, oh, you were in that film kind of
Oh, it's a
reference.
kind of meta reference.
Yeah,
Someone talking about cats.
But
Like,
he
shut
could
up.
also be. He could be this teacher that just is the teacher of everything.
Yeah.
Every class they go into, and then they go in for their counselling session, and it's also him, and he's just not trained in counselling.
Dunkelman's doing his like Gordon Ramsay impression, and he's like, "That's not what we sound like." It'd be so shite. It would be so pissed.
Oh god! Right, my quick fire question. Given that there is a sequel,
Yeah.
what would your idea of a sequel be?
I know what happens in the sequel already.
Right,
'Cause I
so-
read it.
Fair. So you kind of can't.
No. What do you think? And I'll
It's not what you
clarify
think
it
will
because
happen.
no
It's
one
what
gives
you'd
a
want.
fuck.
What you'd
what I
want to
wanna
happen.
happen.
I've got one, so I'll give you one
You
first.
go first. Right.
So I want it to be. There's an even taller girl, and it's like, a bashing of the giraffes. I want a Clash of the Titans. I want you're 6'1", well, I'm 6'3", and I'm confident about it. Do you know what I mean? I want that, and then I want Dunkelman to be more into this girl than she is to him, and then I want Stieg to come back, and I want that's what I want it to be.
I want it to be set in the future, and Tall Girl and Stieg have a love affair behind Dunkelman's back, and she has an obscenely tall baby, and
From
he
a
is
C-section.
driven mad by jealousy. And he has to raise this really tall child with like blonde hair and Stieg's eyes, and he's just raging. Can't love it.
Do you want to know
It's
what
really, it's a
happens?
really dark film.
No, I want to watch it, or watch the Cosmonaut one. And do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
So basically, Tall Girl wants to be in the school musical. She gets the main part. She feels a wee bit insecure about herself. I imagine because she's tall again. It must be. That's the only reason why it would still be called Tall Girl. After that, her and like a new kid comes and joins the school. Her and Dunkelman kind of fall out and break up because they had like a kind of we're on a break moment, and then Tall Girl went and winched this new guy, and then Dunkelman's like, that's not cool, and then they properly break up. Then she realizes that this new guy isn't for her, and who really is for her is Dunkelman, and they get back together at the end, and she finishes the school play, and that's all that happens. And Kimmy becomes nice to her for some reason. And
Well, that's profoundly worse than
Either of the things.
either of those options.
It's just.
Aye.
Who asked for the sequel for that, man? Who
Yeah.
said another one?
Yeah.
Again.
I'm pretty sure the quotes were like, "This is a below par." The critics' reviews were like, "Below par teen film that doesn't do anything new."
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
100%.
Except for Guilt Tall People are complex.
Yeah.
And introduce that
Here's
sister
our-
character. for
my
me
review.
to-
Shite. Next.
Bye. But look, with that is the end of the podcast today. I don't think we need to draw more fucking blood from the stone that is Tall Girl. It is ridiculous. It is definitely not amazing.
Not amazing.
Although
It's amazing how shite it is.
It's amazing how shite it is, and honestly, the sister character is
Break it.
unbelievable.
Stop.
I can't wait to see her in our rogues gallery at the front with that knife pose. Her little cheeky eyes, throwing a knife. Ugh. Shag me. No, cut that. But yes, next week we will be back with another film, which will be...
God's choice.
Oh, I have an idea. I'm not sure about it yet, so I won't decide for sure. But it'll be good no matter what it is.
It will be good no matter what it is, and we will riff it to death.
Amazing. Thank you so much for listening to and or watching the Sorry I Don't podcast. And we will see you again next week. Bye.
Remember,
Bye.
guys, reach up tall. Fucking whatever, man.
Ah!
Well, me. For all
No, Tall Girl.
the names.